So we begin by making a simple shape. My shape is of a lemon, and that's where we'll start. And I'll get back to you after I add some more lines. Alright, so we're back, and I did my drawing of my lemon, and you can see I added some basic shapes and lines over the top of my lemon shape. And that's what everyone's going to want to do. You're going to want to draw some lines across all the way across your paper so that you have some that go all the way across, because it makes for a better drawing. And the more lines and shapes that you can draw, the more planes or cubist your drawing will look. Alright, I'll be back with some more lines and probably some more shading, okay? Thank you. Alright, so I've got all my lines drawn and my shape is still there. And I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to give you an example really quickly of how we can shade it. I've got my charcoal and I'm going to just start darkly in the corner of a shape like that. And I'm going to press a little bit harder in the middle. But then when I start to work my way out, I'm going to be lighter and lighter and lighter. I'm not going to touch hardly at all. And one of the things that you can do with charcoal is when it gets like that, you can either use your pen or your fingertip or some other piece of paper or something, and you can just pull that dark out into the shape like that, and it creates shading. And that's what we're going to be learning about today, is how to shade shapes and objects. See? Now, I'll come into another spot, and I'll maybe shade the opposite side. I wouldn't want to shade here, because then I wouldn't see that line very well. So I'm going to come in here to this spot, and then I'm going to shade dark, pressing hard, and then I'm going to press lighter and lighter and lighter as I go out away from the middle of that triangular shape. And then I'll do the same thing. I'll start pulling it out with my finger, or a rolled up piece of paper works fine too. And that's how we're going to shade. Now, I like to take the outside edges of a shape like this one, and I try to shade like this, so you can see the shape in the white area, and it looks like almost a shadow on the darker area. But I don't want to color it all the way in, but I do want to color it enough that it looks like it's coming from behind what is my lemon. Alright? See how that looks? And maybe try to pull it into there. And we can always come back and erase anything that overlaps, like what happened there on that spot. Okay? So that's the basics of how we're going to fill in all these shapes in and around this lemon. So I'll try to show you a finished product at the end. Alright everyone, so this is the finished product of the drawing. As you can see, all of the corners are kind of shaded just like that. This whole process took me about 10 minutes, maybe 15, and it might take you a little bit longer, but that's okay. And it's not a big deal if you get some of these little smudges and things. It actually makes it look very much more like a Braque painting. So that's what we're doing, and you can still see my lemon shape in there, but you also see all the pieces. It makes it look like broken glass and everything. One of the things you might want to do is turn your page as you draw so that you're pulling from the edges like this instead of working over the middle. You'll have a lot less smudging if you work around your shape. So that's just a simple lesson in how to use shading to make Cubist art inspired by Georges Braque. Thank you.